So yesterday I was strongly advised by a friend of a friend that I should get the little Charizard card that I pulled graded. But as somebody who's not really involved in the Pokemon card scene, I just don't get it, and I'm going to explain why. So with my limited knowledge of Pokemon cards, it's my understanding that the process is that you send off a card or a selection of cards to a company and you pay some guys that you've never met to tell you how nicely it's been printed in a factory that you've never worked in. So firstly, I don't understand why you need somebody else to tell you how nice a Pokemon card looks. I can look at this Pokemon card and I can see that there's no bends or creases, I can see the beautiful artwork, and I know that this card hasn't been carried around to school in the backpack of an 8-year-old. I didn't understand why anybody would care about the ridiculously pedantic criteria, such as if the left-hand side is the thickness of a pube bigger than the right-hand side, or if there is a molecule of dandruff in the corner, until I looked online and saw that if a card is deemed to be a 10 by a group of blokes in a basement with a magnifying glass, then it is sometimes hundreds of thousands of pounds more than if they deem it to be a 9. So we can already see that the entire thing is just about money. Which leads me on to my second point, which is going to make me sound like a bit of a conspiracy theorist now. But if I was a professional card grader and one of my friends or somebody I cared about had sent in a selection of cards and I could be the decider between them being worth £2,000 or £200, I would 110% be more lenient when grading those cards. On top of that, if it was a sunny Friday afternoon and I was about to go out for a pint, I would 110% be more lenient than if it was a miserable wet Monday just after the weekend that my cat had died. On top of that, I'm assuming that at these companies there are quite a few different card graders, so regardless of whether they're following the same criteria, there's going to be a level of subjectivity or lenience between who's grading your card. And the cherry on top of the cake is that I now have to have my beautiful Pokemon card in this horrible fucking chunk of plastic. Now, I'm sure some of you will say that multiple graders look at each card to make it fair, but I'm still not convinced that when you're dealing with such ridiculously pedantic fine margins, that one grader couldn't be the difference between it getting a 9 or a 10. Now, I'm happy to be proven wrong on this point, but I don't believe for a second that if you sent this card in 10 times, it would get the same grade 10 times, which basically means that you are letting this company dictate the value of your Pokemon card through this massively flawed system in the hopes that they give you a 10 so that your card is worth more money. Now, as I said at the start of the video, I'm a newcomer when it comes to Pokemon cards, so I'm happy to be educated, if you will, if I'm completely wrong about this. But from an outsider's point of view, it just feels like a way of further monetizing a children's card game, and it's probably why I get videos on my FYP of 50-year-olds fighting children for packs of cards, because it's all about making money.